So for me, that means go ahead and let yourself rest. If your body is calling for rest, if it is forcing you to rest, then rest. And try not to feel guilty about it like I do. But then remember your power and your control that you have over your own energy. So what if we could remember that we don't need to wait for our external circumstances to change for us to take control of how we feel? You cannot solve a problem with the same mind that created it, and you cannot attract a different experience without changing your energy first. Welcome to the Energy Within podcast, helping you to embrace your weird, remember who you really are, and take action on your soul's purpose. My name is Carrie Jokala. I am your host. I am a Reiki master teacher, a fitness instructor, a wife, a mom to 2 little boys, and this is episode 201. Finally. So, if you follow the podcast weekly, you may have noticed that we made it to 200 weekly episodes with only a couple misses over the course of those 200 episodes. And then all of a sudden, I missed last week. But I had a good excuse. Just in case you don't follow me on Instagram and you didn't see my post that I was not going to be able to make posting a podcast last week. I didn't give the reason just then, but the reason was I found out I had strep throat. I had a sore throat that just wasn't going away. Nothing was touching it. Nothing would make the pain reduce at all. And I finally concluded that it had to be strep. So that's been taken care of. And we're back on track. So thank you for being here. And I wanted to address how I've kind of been feeling energetically, and leaving it out there in the hopes that it resonates with you, that maybe you've been feeling the same way, looking for some sort of confirmation, some sort of connection. Maybe you're trying to figure out what's going on like me. So we are energetically in the middle of what's called the Lionsgate portal. I don't remember what date it starts on. I believe it goes through August 12th though. And they say that the height of it is August 8th. And then just today, for the first time, I came across someone on Instagram saying that the true astrology says that it's more like the 15th or the 16th, which is all confusing to me because I don't know anything about that side of things. But I do like the symbolism of 8-8, the 2 infinity signs next to each other. And that is part of the reason why, in addition to some being in some sort of correct alignment with the stars and all that sort of thing, that it's supposed to be the best day for manifesting your desires. So this episode comes out a day after that. So you may have missed that I led a Reiki session on the 8th for the Lionsgate portal, but I did it inside of my membership Glow the Confidence Club. And there was an offering, but I was not good about getting it out to the email list. So if you're only on the email list, I sincerely apologize, but you didn't get it. But there's still a way you can get the replay if you want to. I did open it up to non-members, but also with the option to join the membership. So right now, after the fact, the way to get access to the recording is to join the membership. And the month of August is the last month to get founders pricing because I'm going to raise the price a little bit after August is over. So for the rest of this month, you can get in for $33 a month and you lock that in for as long as you stay a member. And right now we do 1 group Reiki a month and 1 group meditation a month. I have promised to turn the meditations into downloadable MP3s, but I have not gotten a chance to do that with the one from July yet. So very soon that'll be up there, but that's all included as part of the membership. And I'm going to be adding more things as we go. Planning to do sound healing meditations, planning to eventually add in some fitness classes as well, all different varieties, all different kinds, so accessible to all different levels. And there is a VIP option if you would like to have one-on-one Reiki sessions on a regular basis. Right now, the founder's pricing is $97 a month, which is less than the cost of just a one-off Reiki session with me, which is $111. So if that's something you're interested in, you would get a monthly one-on-one session, a full session with me, plus the membership for less than the cost of just a random one-off. So if you are thinking about either of those, this is the month to get in. This is the last chance. And you get access to all the replays. You get to keep access to all of those as long as you're inside the membership. So everything that gets added, you'll always have access to. Like I was saying, being in this Lionsgate portal, I keep seeing online from other people that I followed who are talking about this that there's a lot of energy shifting right now. There's the Schumann resonance, why do I want to say resonance that you may have heard of, which I believe is tracking like the energy spikes of the sun, solar flares, things like that. Again, nothing that I know a lot about, which is why I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I'm just throwing this out there as things that are energetically going on that I've seen or heard about, read about lately that could be causing this heavy energetic feeling. So for me personally, so here's the thing. I've talked before about, what if it's all in your head? What about the skeptics? What about the people who are like, oh, this would happen anyway, or it happened just because you made it happen? But energy is still a part of the equation as far as I'm concerned. Whether or not something would have happened or not, it still was more likely to happen because of your energy, because of your mindset, because of you being aware of your energy and mindset. Something as simple as awareness makes a huge difference. And not to go too far off on a tangent before I get back to my point, but I've also been reading this book called Healing Back Pain, The Mind-Body Connection. It's by John E. Sarno, MD, and at the bottom, it also says, so you're healing back pain without drugs, without surgery, without exercise. Back pain can be stopped forever. And basically, this doctor really leaned into the connection between our emotions and physical pain, and that emotions will manifest as physical pain. He labels it as the body trying to avoid dealing with an emotion. I see how that can be the case, but I do also believe that it's our body or our spirit, our soul, trying to find a way to get our attention to make us deal with the emotion. That's kind of the way I view it, but I see how it could be viewed as giving you a distraction so that you don't have to deal with the emotion. That makes sense too. So whichever way it resonates, the fact is our emotions can affect us physically. And it tends to manifest for many of us in back pain is common, shoulder pain is common, hip pain. And what he found is that with the vast majority, a very high percentage of his patients, that increased the more he did this work, simply learning and accepting that their emotions could be causing their pain, that there was something they weren't really dealing with fully, was enough to start turning things around and help them become pain-free or very significantly reduce the pain, but mostly pain-free for most of his patients. And then he wrote a book, and then he wrote this book as a follow-up, and he was finding that people were becoming free from their pain just by reading the book. But that was his initial thing anyway, was just giving his patients the information. He would present them with a lecture on what was happening inside the body and why, and what the connection was with the emotions. And in most cases, that was all was needed, was the knowledge and the acceptance. So I say that because to loop back to what I was starting to say is that I can point back to physical reasons in these last couple of weeks why I would be feeling as tired as I am. I was spending a lot of time prepping for launch week for my body pump classes. So I was doing quite a few workouts the week prior and in the couple days leading up to the actual launch. And then I taught 4 body pump classes that week. 2 of them were in one day. And then in the middle of all of this, dealing with what I thought was just a tickle in the back of my throat because I felt fine otherwise. And eventually realizing that it was strep throat. And because of that, because of not really realizing what was going on right away, I wasn't resting. And also having kids, you kind of don't really get the opportunity to get the kind of rest that you really need. And so this weekend, I've had some time to myself. And I had so many plans. I was going to be so productive. And I still got a couple things done, but not anywhere close to what I was thinking I would because I have just felt so heavy and so tired. And even getting a decent amount of sleep over this weekend, I still had trouble like getting up out of bed. Like I could have probably slept another 5 hours from the times that I got up. And this just not having much energy and feeling like I needed to rest. And then even taking a nap one of the days. I took a nap. I felt like this is maybe my body going, okay, well, this is our chance. We finally get to rest. So we're going to crash now. And I was in my friend Elizabeth's group, the one who does the sound healing. She has that album that I've mentioned a few times. And if I remember, I'll put the link in again. But you can look her up on Instagram. It's Elizabeth Creates. And she did card pulls and intuitive readings in her group. And I got the Tower card. Plus another couple cards about abundance and other things coming in. But there are things, it confirmed that this whole Lionsgate things are energetically being ripped away from us that don't serve us anymore. So anything we've been hanging on to, we've reached the point where we don't have a choice anymore. It's just going to be ripped away. And that sounds over dramatic. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's something big that's being ripped away or that it's a relationship or anything like that. It could be a part of yourself that you have been kind of done with, but hanging on to because it's comfortable. But it's time to step into the next version of you. It's time to step into the next level confident version of you. It's time to step into the version of you who is living their life's purpose, who is taking action on their life's purpose, who is embracing their weird, who is embracing who they really are, allowing that remembrance to come back in. And honestly, there's part of me, just because I have been feeling tired a lot, and I feel like even though it's common for us moms to feel tired, that the level of fatigue that a lot of us feel probably isn't normal. And I know for me, there's physical things that I haven't been as good about. I have not been super good about water. I have not been as good about getting enough protein the last few weeks. And even though I have been striving to get up earlier, part of the reason I haven't been able to is because I'm already starting off going to bed too late, and so I'm not getting enough sleep. So I kind of almost can't get up as early as I want to. And I could go into so many other things, but I won't. There's so many other reasons for why physically we could be feeling tired. And part of me wants to go get my labs done and just find out what's going on. But that takes me back to my other point anyway, that while that's a good thing to do, while it's good It's necessary to take care of our physical health. We can't only be dealing in the spiritual and the energetic because that's just not realistic. We're human. We have to take care of our human bodies. But regardless, no matter what anything would show, there's an emotional and spiritual reason why it showed up. And I don't mean for that to make anyone feel like you have to sit there and overanalyze everything about your life. You have to overanalyze everything that has ever happened to you, every ailment that you get. Sometimes you're just sick. And I do believe that there would still be a reason for a random blip in time why you're sick, a spiritual reason for it. But I also believe there's different levels to whether or not it's actually important for you to figure out why. Just because there is a reason doesn't mean that you are required to figure out what that reason is. If it's not important in the grand scheme of your purpose in this life, and you're not feeling called to figure it out, then don't worry about it. If you're feeling a nudge to figure it out, though, like a genuine intuitive nudge, not overthinking, not stress, not worry, but a genuine intuitive nudge to figure it out, then it's probably important. So then you probably do want to listen. But the last thing I wanted to share here is, so I'm recording this. You're listening to this on Wednesday or later, but I'm recording this on Sunday. And I just did some card pulls in the Energy Within group. If you missed them, you may not be in the group. So make sure you jump in. The link for that is always in the show notes, so you can always find that. But also, you might not have your notifications turned on. And I don't want to go through a tutorial on here to tell you where to look. But if you go and you turn on notifications, it should notify you. As long as you turn them on to all, it should notify you right away when I go live. If you don't have that on, if you just have it on highlights, or if you even have them turned off, you won't get the notification. I did do the everyone tag on this, but I always hesitate to do that because I don't want to annoy anybody. And I'm also not sure how many people actually look at that anyway. But if that is something that you know you want to be available for, have the opportunity to participate in, make sure you're in the group and make sure you have your notifications turned on to all. But anyway, one of the collective cards that I pulled in the beginning from the Work Your Light deck was Dance with Life. And it says, do something to change your energy. So for me, that means go ahead and let yourself rest. If your body is calling for rest, if it is forcing you to rest, then rest. And try not to feel guilty about it like I do. But then remember your power and your control that you have over your own energy. I realize that when you're feeling physically tired and you're feeling weighed down, it feels like you can't just snap your fingers and snap out of it. But on the other side of that token, I do believe that it can be a choice. Our emotions can be choices. Our feelings can be choices. If the right external thing were to suddenly pop into your life right now, like if you suddenly won the lottery, you would be the most energized person, no matter how tired you were. So what if we realized, what if we could remember that we don't need to wait for our external circumstances to change for us to take control of how we feel? What if we chose gratitude and happiness and joy and love and all of that good stuff first, so that then we could attract the things that we want into our lives? That's maybe how we shake this tiredness. We do something to change our energy. We don't wait for something else to change before we adapt and let our energy change then. So let's read the actual description and just see what it says, if there's anything in there for us. Life is always moving. If you resist this ever-changing flow, your energy will become stagnant and you will fall out of flow with the universe. The universe has a mysterious, intelligent force, a natural rhythmic beat, which governs all of life. One of the best ways to shift your energy, frequency, and vibration is to put on some music and dance along with it. When we dance unrestrained, our spirit takes over, and with each new bop, sway, and kick, we are rocked back into harmony with the rest of life. Get unstuck by doing something that shifts your vibration. Put on some music, dance unrestrained, and fall into the frequency of life. In doing so, your body will begin to learn how to be moved by your intuition, which is connected with this systemic beat. If dancing isn't your thing, then simply do something that you would not usually do to shift the energy. You cannot solve a problem with the same mind that created it, and you cannot attract a different experience without changing your energy first. It's time to shift things up and to find a way to dance along with the beat of life. What did I just say? There you go. So, yeah, acknowledge any possible physical reasons for why you're feeling what you're feeling. But the most likely case is that there is an emotional and spiritual root to it all. And if you can find what that is, and you can address it, and do something to shift that energy and to fix it, you can fix what's going on physically. I truly believe that, and I hope that more people start to embrace that. It's not denying the reality of the physical manifestation of pain or tiredness or anything else, any kind of disease or illness. It's real. It's not all in your head, but it started in your energy. And if it starts with our energy and we have control over our energy, why shouldn't we be able to fix it by fixing our energy? So take what resonates, leave what doesn't there. I don't know about you, but I would rather be hopeful than anything else. I would rather have hope and do my best to live from a place of love than be in a constant state of fear and stress and worry. And every day, it seems like there's something new dropped in front of us that they want us to argue about, that they want us to be afraid of, that they want us to be upset about. And while I don't think we should be ignorant of what's going on around us, I don't believe it's beneficial for us to absorb and take on all of that energy and all of that feeling of responsibility and sadness. If we're all constantly in the lower vibrational emotions for long stretches of time, how do we ever expect anything to change? And I know now I've gone from physically feeling tired individually to now talking about the world and all of that, but it ties in for me. So some of us have to be willing to go first. Some of us have to be willing to be the light, to be the ones who have hope, who see the possibilities, who create the possibilities, who make it happen and show people what's possible, who can live and act from a state of love and happiness and sharing that with other people and letting that serve as a guiding light to show others that it's possible. Being yourself, embracing who you are. If you're letting the weight of the world weigh you down, your light is being dimmed. If you shine your light, you can break through those walls, break through those things that are weighing you down, and disintegrate them. So regardless, whether you're resonating with the individual stuff I was talking about, or now what I've been philosophizing about. Is that the right way to say that word? My hope in doing this podcast, my hope in doing the work that I do is to reach people and help you to see that the best way to create any change for yourself, to create any change for this world, is to be yourself, to be the best version of yourself, to act from love as often as you can in everything that you do, not expecting perfection from yourself by any means, and not being a doormat. That's not what that means. There's a difference between cheesy love and the pure high vibrational emotion of love, the pure frequency of love. You just being yourself and sharing your joy purely, unattached, is the best thing that you can do. I hope that this resonated. I hope that this was helpful. If it was, I would sincerely appreciate you sharing this episode with your friends, with your family, with your social media. If you share it to your Instagram, please make sure to tag me at I am Carrie Jokala. If you would like to jump in to get the replay for that Lionsgate Reiki, make sure you jump inside Glow, the Confidence Club, get in at Founders Pricing, and make sure that you are inside the Energy Within group at the very least, so you can catch those random card pulls that I do and also be aware of any updates. And thank you again for being here with me on this journey at 201 episodes and plenty more where that came from. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time.